justice and the ability to progress. But how far does freedom go? In my 9th grade civics class, which I'm in 9th grade, I'm a freshman, we were told our individual freedom extends to the point in which it affects someone else's freedom. The Second Amendment grants citizens the right to bear arms, but should we be free to buy weapons of war? Where are the limits? No one can go to their local Walmart and buy. You can't buy a bazooka. You can't buy a bomb. You cannot buy land. Unfortunately, gun laws have developed faster than our gun laws. And this gun violence has targeted our youth, but it has also sparked a movement in our youth.
Yeah.
We are the agents of change, and in the words of Emma Gonzalez, will not be another statistic. Another student that is my best friend personally, and also the entire city, is
Hello, how is everyone? How is everyone today? I'm Brianna Phillips, like she said. One of the three to organize this march. I'm here in front of you all to discuss the topic. No one really...
Just go from the heart, honey.
No one really talks about mental health. 5 of you will all experience some sort of mental illness. Thank you. You cannot recover from anxiety by just staying calm. You cannot recover from depression by just being positive. You cannot recover from anorexia nervosa by just eating more. If mental illness was easy, we wouldn't be struggling with it in the first place. Look around. 20% of you all will have some form of mental illness. To President Trump, thoughts and prayers will not save lives. What will is action. We need to change the culture of this topic and make it okay to speak about mental health. The students decide the future. We decide how we want this world to be. Will you stand up for the silent voices affected by mental illness, or will you let our generation suffer? The choice is yours.
Next, we're going to turn it over to someone who's been a really big help to us. I'm going to invite Hillary over here.
Hi, thank you so much for coming out after so many years of not doing enough. I think it's time to do something. I think it's time to make a change. So I was in high school when Columbine happened, and I kind of thought that the world would change. That would be a moment when we would reflect on what our country means, but it did change. Not in the world I thought it would. Instead, the gun owners doubled down. I started to hear about concealed carry and taking guns into churches and into schools, and I was raised in such a privileged way that that was absurd to me, because I'd never been threatened by a gun before. In 2012, when Sandy Hook happened, I was living in a different country. And when I came back, I realized how safe I felt there, because I never felt like somebody could burst into the movie theater where I was living in Europe and kill me for no reason. But here, that's a fear that we all live with every day. And still, I know that because of the way I look and because of the opportunities I've had, I am so much luckier than so many people. So what I really wanted to talk to you about is a group of children, of young people who are so much less safe, excuse me for the wind, than several of us will ever really understand. So in February of 2012, Trayvon Martin was shot by George Zimmerman in his own neighborhood. And again, I thought that this would be the kind of thing that would change the shape of society. I know he's not the first black boy to be murdered by somebody who felt like his right to wield a gun was more legitimate than a child's right to live. But his death made a mark on me, and again, on society, with the rise of Black Lives Matter, which has been an incredible force for good in our generation. But again, society on the whole did not react in the way I thought it was so necessary. Instead, there were people who came out and said he was a thug, that he had no right to be there. Nobody in the mainstream, nobody in the government came to the obvious conclusion that children should not be getting shot, period.
Yeah!
Amen. America doesn't treat children as people. That's completely obvious, not just from the way our government reacts to school shootings by doubling down on gun owners' rights, but by how children are used as pawns in so many legislative battles that are really about money or power. Children inevitably get treated like shit, and children of color like Trayvon, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, and the Dreamers are exploited and ignored, and their lives don't matter, not to the people in charge. The Republicans now, but the Democrats too, are cowardly, greedy, and selfish. They don't care about lives. They care about money and power. And so when we march for our lives, wait for it. We agitate for our lives. Let's recognize the specific vulnerabilities of those groups deemed dispensable by those in power, whose deaths are actually necessary to keep those power structures in place. It's truly revolutionary to say Black Lives Matter, children's lives matter, Dreamers' lives matter, because our society is built on the premise that they don't. Get guns out of schools, obviously. But at the same time, let's recognize and fight back against the specific ways our culture kills children, especially children of color. It's so infuriating to me that the Republicans have laid claim to the culture of life brand, because they're the culture of death. They are pro-death. But I need to see the Democrats too distinguish themselves by actually standing up for Black lives, children's lives, immigrant lives, women's lives, and women's bodily autonomy. There are so many candidates that were inspired by the 2016 election that we can ask for more. We don't need to settle for a candidate who is good enough. So here's my wish list. Shut down the NRA. Shut down terrorist organization, another terrorist organization. Shut down ICE. Recognize the legal rights of children. Universal access to affordable health care. No hungry children. Pay teachers. And make sure that families and people with wombs can decide when they want children. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Thank you, Hillary. So another person who has helped us from the very get-go, before we reached out to any other group, we were referred to Chris King. So I'd like to invite her to speak.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? I know it's kind of chilly. We're doing well, right?
Yep.
We're building up. We're excited. We're burning with passion, right? And that's going to warm us up. We are here tonight because we need to fight for everyone's lives. These are our children that are being murdered. These are my brothers and sisters of the LGBTQ family who are being murdered just by being in their safe places. This is people being killed in churches and everywhere else that these guns, like, we don't need to have, that shouldn't be in the hands of civilians. these are what is killing us, and we need to fight this completely. We are out here because we need to fight for mental health awareness. We are one of the few countries who doesn't deal with mental health and sweeps it under the rug like it's going to go away, and it's not. It gets worse, and we need to tackle that. And if we can't get our elected officials to do it, we need to get out and vote these people out. Those of you who aren't vote registered need to get back there and get registered to vote. Those of you who are not of age yet, make sure as soon as you are of age that you are registered. It is extremely important because that is the only way that we're going to enact change in this country, is getting these crappy representatives that have been elected over the years out of their offices. That's it.
Thank you. So last night, the three students, we went to the Knox County Democratic meeting, and we spoke to Pam Davidson, and she was a huge help. So, please come talk.
Good afternoon, everyone. I stand here as a mother, as a grandmother, as a Democrat, as a county board chair who cares about my children. They might not come from my womb, but they are my children. From white, black, I say purple, green, and red, you are all my children. And when they go to school, they should not worry about not coming home because someone came in and caused them no harm. They should go to school to learn, to have fun, to be a young person. But I honor them today because they stood out and they're talking and they're making old people like me listen. County has a 708 board for mental health, and constituents voted it in. We are just not the only county that has one. So we understand about mental illness, but still we need to put guns where they belong, with people that want to hunt but not go to war. We need guns to be with our military and our police officers that are doing great things. We do not need them in the hands of people that can kill on the south side of Chicago when kids go to school every day and they don't worry about inside the school, but when they go home, they don't know they're going home that afternoon. We need guns to be in the hands of people to protect and honor us as citizens. We don't need guns, and our children don't need to be afraid to be shot down while they go get an education.
Right.
So I am here to stand as one of you. If all of you are my children, I am Mama Pam. And Mama Pam cares about every single last one of you. And we today are going to march for our children, my children, and yours. So let's join together, and thank you, every single last one of you for being here. So next one to speak, it should be up soon.
Next, we're going to have the biggest help behind the scenes come and speak, and her name is Sam Seifert. So.
Hi guys. First of all, thank you for being here on this short notice event and in the freezing cold. So my name is Sam Seifert, and I am part of the Columbine generation. I am part of the Sandy Hook generation, the Virginia Tech generation, the Mandalay Bay generation, the Pulse nightclub generation, the Sutherland Springs generation, the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas generation. Do I need to go on? No. I am part of the mass shooting generation. At 18 years old, I should be thinking about college, my job, and prom. Not about getting shot down in the classroom, but here I am begging you to spare the lives of American school children.
Yes.
I am here to tell you that change needs to happen. We need a change in policy, and it needs to be now. We are not here to arm teachers. We are not here to ask for bulletproof classroom doors. We are here to ask politicians to fight for us. Stop taking money from the NRA. Stop justifying the fact that the blood of American school children is on your hands. And I am here asking you to vote for officials that will protect us. You have a voice and you have a vote, so please use both.
Okay, now I'd like you to prepare yourself because I'm going to invite Kelvin Hawthorne up to speak, and he's very wordy.
Okay. So I got my speech man here. So I want to thank you all so much for being here today to make this change. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kelvin Hawthorne. I am a freshman at Galesburg High School, and I joined the student-led group about a month before we did the walkout. Although I cannot vote and although I cannot drive without an adult in the seat next to me, I can read, I can hear, I can see, and what I see is my own peers dying over preventable tragedies. Time and time again, the response to our plea for change is met with repetitive roadblocks. Words that come in the form of, you are too young to understand your government. Words that come in the form of, you are a stupid libtard. Words that come in the form of, you have no respect for anybody but yourself. Sorry, no, we're fine. I just I thought it was important. Sorry.
Speak like you did last night.
But I have done my research and I know how my government works. You know what I also know? I also know that Australia in 1996 passed gun laws after the Port Arthur mass shooting, and they have not had a mass shooting since. I also know that Japan has never had a mass shooting. And in the past decade, the United Kingdom has had one mass shooting, and in America, we have had more mass shootings than all the developed nations combined. I am not a Tide Pod kid. I am not a trend-savvy lunatic. I care not what people I care not for people who talk against me, but what I can do to protect the lives of others. We have an obligation to speak out. Our job is to make a change. We are the future, and we are activists. We are the change that politicians talk about, yet when we speak out, we are brushed aside for money and corruption in the pockets of our own politicians.
Page turn.
Yeah, page turn. Today, I look into a crowd and what I see is a cause worth fighting for. I see a community coming together to make a difference and support a common goal, and I see people who are uniting to do something. 8 is the number of mass school shootings that we've had in the year 2018 so far. 50 is the number of mass shootings we've had in 2018 so far. 10 is the number of gun-related homicides happening as we speak right now. And 36 is the number of developed countries in the world that have had less mass shootings combined than the United States. So, and the National Rifle Association, the NRA, tells us the solution is to put more guns on the streets. I call BS. President Trump went before the faces of the victims and he said he would do everything to make sure that this never happened again. $2 million is the amount of money Trump has accepted from the NRA only a month after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas massacre. President Trump said it was crazy that people could get a handgun at 21, but an assault weapon at 18. President Trump, where's the legislation? Where's the executive orders? Where is our safety? Senator Rubio said every child deserves to live up to his or her God-given potential, just as Hillary Clinton did, but accepted $200 billion from the NRA this month. Republicans, you promised safety. You promised to protect us, yet Republican representatives in Washington combined have accepted $126 million from an organization that grades them on how many guns they protect rather than how many children they save. The NRA spokeswoman said in a CNN town hall, "I or anybody else I represent does not support people who are crazy or who may cause harm to themselves or others. No, because you grade and pay our politicians to allow crazy and dangerous people to obtain a firearm." There is hope, though. There is hope that Sherry Bustos, our District 17 representative, has accepted 0 from the NRA. Also, that our senators Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin have accepted 0 from the NRA. That Hillary Clinton, our 2016 Democratic nominee, and President Barack Obama have been given or accepted 0 from the NRA. That is protection, that is governing, and that is America. Another page turn. We're almost done here. Hang in there.
You're amazing.
President Trump called the NRA patriots. But anyone who goes to the faces of the victims and says regulation isn't the answer, and people who turn around behind their backs and call children speaking out violent protest or liberal brainwash isn't a patriot. Republicans continue to spout their endless rhetoric each time it is apparent to us that the rhetoric is causing more death, more blood, and more suffering. And more of my peers are dying. Their blood is on the hands of the NRA. Their blood is on the hands of congressional Republicans and on the hands of the president.
That's right.
As a student and as a young person, I refuse to have my blood on the hands of any of those people. Realize, Mr. President, please listen, Vice President Pence, please take note, Speaker Ryan and Leader McConnell. This will never stop without regulation. We will not shut up and we will not move aside as young activists, because if we fall, you fall with us. As citizens, it is our obligation to make a change. That protects us. We are the change, we are the activists, we are American, and no gun, no NRA, no protest, no president or Congress will step in the way of us protecting our lives. Barack Obama said in the 2004 DNC, "It is the fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that keeps this nation going." It is these words that should be a light to our path. Hillary Clinton said it takes a village. It takes all of us to make a change. Bernie Sanders said, if we stand together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. Let's do it. Let's make a difference. Let's stand together. And when we do, change will happen.
Woo! One more picture? Okay, one more picture.
So, today I say to Parkland, we stand with you. We are fighting for you. Our voices are your voices, and change is coming.
Yeah!
Change for the 17. The 17 who would have changed the world. Parkland strong, from Parkland strong to Columbine strong, we are American strong. We love you, Parkland, and now let's go march for our lives.
Thank you, Calvin. I'll vote for Calvin. Anyone else? I'll follow Sam. Anyone else? I'll follow Natalie. Anyone else? I'll follow Brianna. Anyone else? So this event tonight was organized by all these young people. What were you doing at 14, 15, or 16? Not this. And you have a whole bunch of Knox professors that just heard and saw those papers. So well done. We'll be recruiting. Okay, next we're gonna follow Dory. Where's Dory? And the flag. There's Dory right here, and Sam.